Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerdmodon, and I'll be doing a gameplay commentary over some Battlefield 4. In this particular installment, I wanted to talk about a key feature that DICE will be implementing into their upcoming Battlefield title. As many of you guys know, Battlefield 4 had the ability during the beta to play on multiple screens. Now, with that said, of course, if you wanted to play on one screen, you could definitely do that, but you could also use your other screens or tablets or even your cell phone to have an advantage over other players by simply just pulling up the battle screen, or more or less a giant minimap. And that was a feature that I almost fell in love with. I love the idea of it. I think it's very powerful for advanced players to have that ability, and it also allows you to be a step above the competition. Now, of course, I want to let you guys know about my setup just because that'll allow you guys to understand what objects that I had at my disposal. Many of you guys know I play on just currently one monitor, but I do have 3 monitors present. I use it in more of a U shape just because it allows me to constantly look around and have the ability to check on social media sites, editing software, recording software, and the list goes on. You know, I do YouTube, I enjoy it, I think it's a great time, and that's why a lot of the stuff is present during my gaming session is because, well, I play to record. That's kind of the function that I've taken upon myself. But I also enjoy games on the side as well. Now, with that said, of course, having multiple monitors on Battlefield 3 served me zero purpose. It was just kind of like, hey, I have 2 monitors that just kind of sit there and they don't really collect a purpose. And in Battlefield 4, I actually have the ability to open up battle screens and be able to focus my radar on specific locations, check out when flags are flashing, and just have a larger screen ready on my standby. It provides me with information that is commonly not seen on the small minimap. Even if you do enlarge it and you do have the best resolution possible for it, it's still not very, noteworthy. It's not something that provides you with a ton of knowledge, but it gives you an advantage in comparison to not having one. So I'm not taking anything away from the minimap, but having it, in a specific location on Battlefield doesn't really help you during endgame because there's so much information for you to mentally obtain, but at the same expense, trying to plan your next action can be the most critical, and it can also lead to you winning a gunfight, or in some cases losing a gunfight. Being too aggressive in Battlefield is not the name of the game by any means, but it can definitely lead to a success every once in a while. So anyway, guys, I want to start off by letting you guys know, besides having just 3 monitors and, being able to now currently play on all 3 of them, or at least have social media pulled up on all 3 of them, that's definitely an advancement. Many of you guys know that I am at a very good position to talk about frames because I have 4 GTX 680s that are all overclocked by manufacturer. And, of course, I can overclock them a little bit more, but I'm not too interested in that just because I don't have sufficient cooling for every single one of them. Having that kind of stuff can definitely lead to a financial burden, but, definitely having 4 GTX 680s is pretty nice, especially when I play on Ultra on every single option. I really enjoy playing on Battlefield on Ultra because of the sheer fact that Battlefield games are meant to look beautiful. They are probably one of the most enhanced looking games on the market when it comes to multiplayer that upholds 64 players at any given moment. And that's an advantage that it comes with. Of course, many of you guys will realize that one GTX 680 or 670 or anything of that equivalency can play Battlefield 3 on Ultra settings. And you can usually have about 80 frames per second. Of course, having more of those does lead you to have a little bit higher frame rate, pushing into the high 100s and moderate 200s in some circumstances, but it's definitely nothing to be too ecstatic about. It definitely doesn't lead you to this super high position by any means, and having more frames is just kind of nice, especially if you hit a dead zone and you just kind of lose like 80, then you don't have to worry too much. Now, of course, many of you guys probably don't have that kind of stuff, and that's fine. That's not a big deal. You don't need 4 GTX 680s, I'll tell you here, and I'll always tell you that. One is definitely fine. You'll be fine there. But to jump into the actual characteristics of why I decided to talk about this in this particular episode, this is mainly due to my friend coming over, and I realized that you can actually ghost for your friend. When many of you guys have your friends over, you're having a good gaming session, one of you is playing, and the other poor bastard is just kind of watching you play. But in Battlefield 4, you actually have the ability to work as a combined unit now. You may only have 5 people in your squad, but if everybody had a friend next to them that was communicating on another monitor, you would theoretically have 10 people. You would have the ability to relay information, positions, flags we're losing, tanks pulling up on bridges when the skyscraper is about to fall, because you have so much information, and being able to play on a monitor that is maybe, 15 inches to maybe a full screen TV that is, 42 or 50 or whatever your size is, of course, gives you an advantage. I play, on a 21-inch monitor, and I enjoy it. And of course, all three of them are the exact same size, so nothing changes there. But this allows me to actually have a little bit more of an idea of what's going on and being able to anticipate actions before they are actually represented by the in-game players. And I really enjoy that. I was kind of sitting there spectating for him, giving him information, letting him know when enemies were coming up behind him, and I was more or less just being a nuisance to the enemy without them even knowing that I was there. And I really appreciate that. I look forward to seeing what Battlefield 4 will represent when it comes to further actions of this configuration, and allowed you guys to realize that having this feature in the game is definitely a benefit, and I look forward to hopefully pushing that onto you guys when the final release of the game comes out with more advancements and more talk of what this particular feature will have in store. But anyway guys, that has been the episode. I hope you enjoyed, and this is NMO, and I'm signing out guys. Peace.